Now, Dr. Maurice Larocque is a leading obesity expert whose controversial approach has helped thousands of Irish people to lose weight. He has contradicted many of the theories put forward by other experts in his field and believes that we need to get to the root cause of obesity in order to treat it.
Now, with 2 out of every 5 adults in Ireland currently overweight, Dr. Larocque has returned to Ireland to share his knowledge and joins us this morning to tell us about his revolutionary mental weight concept. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You've written 7 books on this subject.
Yeah.
You have a clinic in Ireland which employs about 130 people. So
yes,
the results are there.
Yeah, I think there's about 30 all around Ireland.
All around the country.
Yeah.
OK. It's all about the root cause for you.
Oh, absolutely. We have internationally a major problem in the world. So there are more people overweight or obese on this planet than those suffering from malnutrition. The first time of history that we know of mankind. So, and even in Asia and so forth. So we're facing the same problem. In Canada, we have the same kind of numbers than you have here in Ireland.
I was going to ask, how do we compare?
Yeah,
okay.
So we have the same kind of numbers. In the United States, worst. In France, a little bit less, but it's on its way up too. So there's a major society problem, and so we need to find ways to be more efficient in helping people.
Do you consider that obesity is not actually about food? That that's one of the things that you say, isn't it?
Yeah, I like your question. I think food is part of it, but I mean, say we do know that, I don't know, potato chips is good for health, and will you stay slim if you Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, whatever soft drinks. I mean, is it good if you drink a lot? No. I mean, why do still we do it? So the reason it's not what we do, I mean, why we do it.
Because we're addicted to sugar?
Yes, that's one part of the problem. You're right. And at the same time, you're going to say we're in a consuming society. We're bombarded by messages to eat, and so we still have the choice, the liberty to say yes or no. And from what I've seen as a physician and seeing people for 30 or 40 years now, is there's a lot of suffering, and people have lost hope. They tried everything. They tried any diets on the market. Yeah. Some have been operated, some have been so forth, and still have problems because basically they don't understand why. And there are 2 kinds of reasons. There's this physiological one, and one is related with sugar. Absolutely, because sugar will make you craving very easily, an hour or 2 after. If you don't have any proteins, and so because it's digested rapidly by insulin, so you need then to have less sugar and probably more protein kind of food, so that the satiety will last longer. You'll go 4, maybe 5 hours without really being hungry, and you'll be able to control your appetite. So fatigue is another one. When you lack sleep, people will eat to give them energy and so forth, and it's automatic. This is physiological. So that there are medication that will make you antidepressive drugs. So that's a major problem. We were conducting a study with McGill University recently in Montreal, and we were searching for patients. We had a hard time finding them. 60% were on antidepressive drugs that make them overweight and diabetic later. So, and basically we come up to the first thing we need to understand. And then there's the physiological reason, psychological reason. Mm-hmm. And one thing now that's still working, and with McGill, it's the anxiety, stress. I mean, we're in a very stressful society, performing society, and this modifies your body mechanism and will get you into sugar. And then we said sugar is very bad because you're going to have a short period of time.
And in difficult times, Doctor, it's easy to opt for comfort food. We have a shot actually of Declan Leonard, just one of the many case studies that has gone through your clinic.
There's Declan before he started, and there's
the after shot.
There's the after. So now the motivation weight loss clinics are very well known all over the country, but what you're proposing, or an evolution of what you do in that, is what's called mental weight. So would you explain that concept to me, please?
Yeah, so about 30 years ago, I was treating people and diets and exercise, just regular stuff. And we were not satisfied with the overall result. People still, they knew, but they wouldn't do it. So I came up with the idea, if you could measure what goes up in their mind, I could be maybe much more successful in helping them. And so it came up the idea of building up a questionnaire, very, very short one, would take maybe 10 minutes for the patient to do, and come up with an instant report saying, those are the behaviors, attitude, habits that you will need to change. So we identified those physiological habits. Is it because of sugar problems, exercise, and so forth? And also all the psychological depression, stress level, self-esteem, self-worth, and motivation. And motivation, in that concept, it's an emotion, something we feel. Oh, I'm so motivated. I mean, I will do this. Say, I fall in love with somebody in the first week, so I mean, I will run on my knees to get there. So I'm motivated. That's an emotion. And very interestingly, because we're conducting long-term research and found very, very interesting things. In motivation, there's not one motivation, there are two. There's the positive motivation. We say, okay, I will lose weight because I will be healthier, because my shape will be better, because I won't be diabetic, or I will stop my needles or medication because I will lose the weight, and so forth. But surprisingly, positive motivation is not correlated with any weight loss over time. We found that there's another motivation, which we call negative motivation, breaks. I don't want to do it because, gee, I will lose, I regret losing food that I like. Resentment, just it's unfair. I mean, then
why me?
Too much of an effort. I mean, I can, and if I do this and I don't succeed, so doubt. And when you have one or a mixture of these, I mean, you won't lose weight. So now we have changed the way we approach people to put less emphasis on positive motivation, because say you won't be diabetic, they still eat, then they feel more guilty. So then to put more on eliminating the breaks that...
Well, look, it's an enormously complex area, and we're only going to scratch the surface of it here, but you're in town today. You are giving another one of these legendary lectures of yours. I don't know whether it's oversubscribed or not, but I'm sure if somebody goes onto the Motivation weight loss site, they'll find out details and whether it's booked out or not. But Dr. Maurice Larocque, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, both of you.
Now, let's